Guess who's back? Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, my name is Kira and my blog is islandsocialist.com. My Instagram is at islandsocialist. So it has been a hot minute. It's been months since I filmed the video, and the only way that I could explain without getting into too much detail is I'm gonna say I needed to mentally take care of myself. But I am back. I'm not gonna make any promises and say I'm gonna be here forever, but for now I am back, and I hope you guys missed me because I totally missed you. And today's video is going to be my June and July mix. So the first pattern that I made in June is actually not for me. I did some selfless sewing and I made hubby a shirt. And I made it using McCall's M6044. These are the line drawings. And I made view A, the short sleeve version. So this is the shirt here. And it's actually for the Minerva Crafts blog, and as you can see, the fabric has elephants and trees on a midnight blue background, and it's actually a Lady McElroy print, and it's called Elephant Habitat in the color Midnight. So for this shirt I made size medium, which is the size I usually make for him, but this time I wanted to grade down in the waist because he kind of has that Johnny Bravo shape where he's broader up top and really small in the waist. So I graded from a medium to a small. And then what had happened was the shirt was a little bit too tight, so I had to reduce the seam allowances from the waist down to as small as I could possibly go. So between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 inch. But it all works out in the end and it fits him really, really good. Now it was actually his idea to do the black contrast. And the black is just some cotton that I had in my stash. And this is what the elephant looks like up close. It's a really, really cool fabric. And this shirt got a lot of love on Instagram. And it's actually coming out on the Minerva Crafts blog very, very soon. I think the 18th of this month. So I didn't make any changes to the pattern apart from the grading, the contrast, and instead of buttons I used black pearl snaps. The reason I did that is because my machine does not handle buttonholes well, so in the meanwhile, until I could get something that handles it better, or until I learn or figure out a way to get it done better on my machine, I've been using snaps and I really, really love it. It's actually very easy to do. Oh yes, I did make one other change. I added cuffs using the same black cotton. Oh yes, and I added a yoke too. Oh my goodness, I actually made a lot of changes. And I just for the insides I serged and then I top stitched it down. So that is make number 1, McCall's M6044. So the next thing I made is a top, and this one was for the Megan Nielsen's blog roundup for the eucalypt tank and dress. And I used the peplum hack that is listed on their blog to make this top. And this is actually a refashion or upcycle, if you want to call it that. This was actually a maxi dress, and I'll insert the before pictures here. And I chopped it up and turned it into this top. And now I get a lot more wear out of this than I used to get out of the maxi dress. Actually, I never wore the maxi dress because the fit was just off. So I used some baby pink bias binding for the neck and the armholes. And because it's a knit fabric, I did not have to hem, which is perfect because hemming is like one of my most dreaded tasks. It's a very simple top. I made size 14. It fits perfect. I have nothing much to say about this top, and I'll insert some photos here of me wearing it. The next make was for the hashtag flashback sewing challenge, and this challenge was hosted by Faith St. Jules and Michelle from Win Michelle. So I chose the 90s and I made the Glide jacket by Made It Patterns. This is a very new pattern. It just came out very recently and it's actually listed as intermediate to advanced, and I consider myself a beginner, so this is a really big deal. It's one of my most detailed makes to date, and I really enjoyed challenging myself with this one. So what I did for the 90s theme is I did color blocking. As you can see, there's purple, teal and hot pink, and the lining is also very 90s. This is actually an African wax print cotton, and it's a metallic one, so it has little pink dots on the inside that are shiny, and it has blue, coral, purple, black, red. I also put a little applique detail on the back that says 90, using the same lining fabric. And this was actually not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought this was going to be a killer, and I only had one main issue when I was making this, and it was that one of the invisible zippers for the pockets broke, and I actually had to take a zipper from an old dress that I made that can no longer fit me and use that. Thank goodness that I had that zipper on hand, because I would have missed the deadline if I didn't. So it has the pockets with invisible zippers, and it's lined. The entire thing is fully lined, and it has a split detail at the hem. You can also make the version with the hood, but I chose just the collar. I did color blocking on the back as well. There are elastic cuffs, and I did chevron color blocking on the sleeves. And just in case you were wondering, the Stitch Sisters have a very good tutorial up on their channel about how to do chevron color blocking, and I did use that tutorial for assistance, so I link that down below. The zipper is a separating zipper, and unfortunately I did not have the correct length, but somehow it worked out well. And the zipper is supposed to reach all the way to the bottom, but on mine it does not. But that does not bother me in the least. I think it looks perfectly fine. And to go with this, I made a denim skirt that was actually a refashion or upcycle as well. I used two old pairs of jeans that could no longer fit me, and I made a denim skirt, and I'll bring that to show you right now. So this is the skirt I made using two pairs of old jeans, and as you can see, it's two different washes, but I actually like that, and I think that makes it look even more 90s. And I used antique brass snaps on the front, but there was, how do I put it, the front was opening a bit between the snaps, so because the material has so much stretch, I was able to stitch it up, top stitch down the bottom band all the way up until the top button, and I could wiggle into it, so that's great. This is the back, and I recycled pockets from one of the jeans, so there's contrasting color pockets on the back. I made my own waistband using one of the jeans. You can see here there's still the tag inside. I left the hem completely raw, and from the side this is what it looks like. The two different colors come together at the side, and of course I will insert photos so you can see the entire 90s outfit. Let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that I'm really shiny because it's extremely hot, and all you people overseas who are complaining about 26-degree weather, it's currently 34 degrees here and I'm like melting, so excuse the shininess. Anyway, my next make is actually for a very special project. It's the Itch to Stitch Seville skirt. This is it. It fits at the hips and flares at the knee. This is the front, this is the back, and it has an invisible zipper on the side. It's also fully lined and has a little teeny tiny waistband. This is the perfect summer skirt. It's light, it's breezy, it's airy. I used a crepe fabric. It's mustard, polka dots. Who doesn't love polka dots, right? and I am actually featured on the new pattern cover wearing this. I styled it with a plain white t-shirt and some red heels to spice it up a bit. So I'll insert the pictures to show you what that looks like, and I'll also link the pattern below in case you're interested. The next thing I made, I do not have it to show you guys right now because hubby has already worn them and they're in the wash, but it's actually boxers, and I was a pattern tester for the new Mama Can Do It knit boxers or long shorts. There are two different lengths. I made a shorter length, and you can make it with a fly or without a fly, and I did both kinds to see which one hubby prefers, and he said that he really doesn't care, so I guess he likes both. So I'll insert some pictures from my testing, and now I finally have a pattern that I can use over and over and over again to make underwear for hubby, because I find that mailboxes are actually really expensive and I'm not sure why. So I'm going to use this pattern over and over again, and I can actually squeeze 2 boxes out of 1 yard of fabric, which is pretty good. So the next make I want to show you guys is another one for the Minerva Crafts blog, and it's another Lady McElroy cotton lawn. And this fabric has been very popular on the gram. It has an 80s vibe. It's called Artistic Vibrance, and it has splashes all over it as well as little black dots. And I made the Closet Case Patterns Cali shirt. I recently won a gift card, and I used the opportunity to get a bunch of indie patterns in paper form because I've never had paper form indie patterns before. So this is the Cali, and I made view A, the cropped version. I added an inch because after reading a lot of reviews, I noticed that it was very cropped, and I'm not one to have my tummy outside, so yeah, I added an inch. I also had an issue with the pattern and I had to email them, but that was rectified in a day, so no complaints there. I did the inverted box pleats on the back. I made a boo-boo with the collar, by the way. I accidentally used the band collar as the collar stand. Luckily, it's worked out perfectly. You can't tell any difference except that it's a bit narrower. And I also used snaps on this one instead of buttons. Some little red snaps. These red snaps are actually practice snaps that came with my snaps as a tool, and I had the exact amount that I needed. So that worked out well. The one thing I had to say about this Cali though, it fits me really well. I made size 12, but I needed to make a forward shoulder adjustment, so it keeps pulling backward, similar to the top I'm wearing right now. It seems as though I had to make a forward shoulder adjustment on everything I make from now on, because they tend to pull toward the back and then I feel like I'm choking at the front. So that's it, one issue that I have with this top. This is what the side of the Cali looks like. I'm sure all of you know by now that the back is longer than the front, and it has a facing detail that you top stitch down. Pretty simple. So yeah, that's my Cali. With that same gift card I just mentioned, I also got the Southport dress by True Bias Patterns. Those are the line drawings there. And I made the maxi version. I made this for another special project, and that project is hashtag sewtwinning. So if you follow Sylvia at the Ravelout on Instagram, she did a fabric haul, and I immediately noticed that we both had the same fabric in our stash, which is a polyester crepe with cheetahs on it. So I messaged her and we decided that we would post our make on the same day. We decided that we would both do dresses and we'd post our make on the same day. And this is mine here. So I made a maxi dress, and to be honest, the sizing is very off. I made a size 12 and I graded to a 14 at the hips based on the finished garment measurements. The hip area was huge, so it's actually much bigger than it states on the finished garment measurements. So next time I will actually go from a 12 to a 10 at the waist and then back out to a 12 at the hip. The pattern has drawstrings in a drawstring casing. It's bias bound on the armholes and the neckline, and it has buttons down the front. Again, I used snaps. I used silver ring snaps, and what happened is I used this beigeish color bias binding on the neckline, and then I quickly realized that it was a bit too stiff for the fabric, so I made my own cotton bias binding for the armholes, and that works out a lot better. The pattern, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you because short people problems, but there's a slit down the front, and I'll be sure to insert pictures so you can see the slit in action. The back is pretty plain and simple, nothing special. For this particular make, the fabric is what stands out, not necessarily the pattern. Is a very simple pattern. I had a little bit of trouble fitting this. I'm not sure why. At first the armholes were way too big, so I had to shorten the shoulder, and then I shortened it too much, and then I started from scratch, and what I did instead was take up from in the middle here instead of the shoulder and on the back as well, because I have a pretty petite frame, so I'm short between my neck and my bust, and that seemed to do the trick. But then I had issues in the bust, and this is actually drafted for C cup, so it fit great going across, but it was all like length issues. So I don't know, like next time I may go down a size and fit a little bit more with the fitting, because I'm not entirely happy. I also shortened the hem by 2 inches, and I should have only shortened it by 1 inch. But yeah, overall it's not too bad. It'll get somewhere, and I really had fun doing hashtag sewtwinning with Sylvia. Also, if you want to do sewtwinning, you just need to find a partner who has a similar fabric to you, and you both do different looks. Post it on the same day with the hashtag sewtwinning, and make sure to tag me at Island Socialist, tag Sylvia at the Ravelout, and also tag Raven Marine and Brittany Jones. I list all the information for hashtag sewtwinning down below, so you can take part if you want to. The next thing I made is actually what I'm wearing right now. This is the Megan Neeson Floria top, and I should have gone down a size. I made a size 16 based on the finished garment measurements, and what is happening, if I come up close to show you, the arm side is like way out here on my arm. My armpit is here, so it's actually off by like a whole inch, so it's causing some restrictions in the chest when I try to move my arms. It feels a bit uncomfortable, and it's just not supposed to be out here. Other than that, it looks really nice. I love the V-shaped hem. I've actually not had the chance to shoot this as yet. It closes in the back with a button and loop. or you can use hooks and eyes, but I went for the button and loop. So the next time I think I will go down a size. I also made the crop version, so it's a little bit cropped in the back, and then the front is longer. And this fabric is it's a rayon that has sort of a linen feel, and I recently got this from a gift card from Stone Mountain and Daughter Fabrics. And if you're interested in any of these fabrics, I'm going to post links to as much of them as I can in case you're interested. So yeah, this was a pretty simple make. I don't really have any complaints other than sizing. Oh yes, and I have the same issue that I have with the Cali shirts, where I needed to do a forward shoulder adjustment. Oh, you can even see right now the shoulder is currently, shoulder seam is here, and it needs to come up by about ½ an inch. Other than that, I'm really happy with it. So I'm gonna make a lot more of these because it only used 1 yard of fabric, so great scrap buster. The last thing I made is going to be really hard to show, especially because I do not have the corset done up, but this is my anniversary dress. So hubby and I just celebrated 4 years of marriage, and I made the Dare and Do Magnolia dress. It's a pretty popular pattern, and I used lemon fabric because I entered this into hashtag Sewing Juicy July, and I pretty much posted this about 10 minutes before the deadline was up. It has a wrap front, and I did the full wrap, not the lookout one, and I actually shortened the skirt by a whopping 5 inches. And after shortening it 5 inches, I actually chopped off another 2 inches, which I should not have done because it's really short now. I mean, it was my anniversary, so yeah, it was okay. And the special part of this is that I made a corset belt. So this is how the corset belt looks. I used eyelets, and it's lined with black polyester, and of course I have interfacing on both layers to make it a little bit stiff. And I actually used the drawstring pattern from my Southport dress to make this string. I just lengthened it a bit, and so then it ties up around the waist. It brings in the waist nicely, and I did the long billowy sleeves with the elastic on the end. This dress just makes me happy, and you'll see in the photos that I felt very confident in this dress, and even hubby has requested that I make more of this dress. So Dare and Do, the Magnolia, is a winner. Love this dress.
I belong to you. I belong to you. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust, and I always be around when I need some loving, baby. No one else. Yeah. Let you down.
And that is all my makes for June and July. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm so sorry for being absent for so long, and I'm really happy to be back. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!